Today's program is about employee engagement and why employee engagement is important for your organization. Our goal today is going to be to introduce you to the concept of employee engagement and give you some ideas about how to implement an effective employee engagement process within your organization. My name is Jim Coles, and I'm the Executive Director of Columbus Area Labor Management Committee.
And I'm Meredith Porterfield, Program Manager for Columbus Area Labor Management Committee.
Columbus Labor Management is a neutral, not-for-profit organization, and we've had the opportunity to work with a number of employers of all different sizes and types in establishing an effective employee engagement process within their organizations. And that's what we want to share some of our ideas about this process with you today. What is employee engagement? The Wikipedia definition says that an engaged employee is one who is fully involved in and enthusiastic about their work and acts in a way that furthers the organization's interest. That's very important because in 2012, Inc. magazine did a survey of 900 companies. And what they found was those companies that had a high level of employee engagement outperformed the market. They did better than their competition. Employees had a higher degree of morale, were more willing to put forth the effort that it took to make that organization be successful. But the other side of that is a Gallup poll in 2012 that found employee engagement was at an all-time low in the United States. Employee engagement is essential for our organizations to be successful and for us to develop world-class organizations. Today, our organizations face tremendous challenges. Customer demands are increasing and much more difficult to keep up with. Forces both within our organizations and outside cause us to deal with change much more rapidly than we used to have to. And what that means is we can't keep doing things the same way we always did. It doesn't work anymore. In fact, it can lead to failure of organizations, even the ones that may have been successful. We need more ideas. We need new ideas in order to face the competition. Why is employee engagement important? One big factor is it helps with job retention. What the surveys found was that disengaged employees were less likely to have positive beliefs about their companies, less likely to put forth the extra effort that it takes for that company to be successful, and are less likely to want to stay employed by that company. That increases employee recruitment and training costs and makes us less able to deal with those demands that we had discussed earlier. An effective employee engagement process can help encourage more flexible work environments that are better able to and able to deal with customer demands and other issues more quickly. It also helps us make a better use of the limited resources that we all face and allows us to be better poised to be able to move forward as the economy recovers. At Columbus Labor Management, we share these basic principles with our organizations. And that is, a person who does a job usually knows most about it. That seems very simple. You deal with the job every day, you understand the problems that you face, the difficulties that you encounter, and you usually have ideas on how to resolve that and make the job better. Unfortunately, we don't always get the opportunity to share those ideas. But most people want to be informed and involved in their job. They want a voice in helping to determine their own future. A good, effective employee engagement process gives them that opportunity. It can help build healthy organizations, and healthy organizations are in everybody's interests. But what we also know is that people drive change. People will make the difference in whether an employee engagement process works or not. They'll make the difference in whether the vision of the organization can be achieved, because unless they're involved and committed to making any change within an organization, unless they have a real voice in a change process, employee engagement will not work. The advantages: greater productivity, more efficient use of time within those organizations. We can achieve better workplace communication by establishing a better flow of ideas and information up and down through the organization. That will help us build better relationships within our company, higher trust levels, better morale between employees and management. There's a myth that says employee engagement isn't effective in unionized companies, and I can tell you that is a myth. An effective employee engagement process is possible in any organization when we have an opportunity for real involvement, real opportunities to solve problems and be part of the process. Whether a company is unionized or not really doesn't make any difference. It's that commitment to want to move the process forward that makes the difference.
So how do you achieve it? You develop a culture where employees feel valued, they can contribute their ideas freely. And to do that, you need to make a commitment to the process. We see this as the major difference between groups that succeed and those that don't. You need to select a team or teams. Maybe you want to do a pilot project. You want to provide some training. Some people think that it's easy just to put a group of people together, but that may not necessarily be the case. It might be better to provide some training that can give some tools and techniques to groups that they may not ordinarily have. You need to identify a problem, use good problem-solving processes, and work to solve the problem, not fix blame to it. You also need to demonstrate commitment through actions, not just words. Remember the old adage, actions speak louder than words? Keep an open mind and be willing to take some risks. You're going to hear some new ideas, some new ways of doing things. It's going to be important that you embrace those ideas and be willing to use those ideas, even if you know it might be a little difficult to implement them, but you need to try it just to show that you are embracing this process. You need to actively listen, not just hear employees' ideas, and you need to provide some feedback. For example, if something you need to go back and check on, you need to say that. Say, I need to go back and check on it, I'll get back to you, and actually get back to the group as to why or why not it may or may not work. You might have to go the extra mile or take an extra step just to show how important this process is. It will help to develop some trust. You can start with a small project or something that most everybody will agree on. Think about it as riding a bicycle. You start a little bit and it goes a little bit better each time you keep working on it. Maybe you want to have an outside facilitator to help. An outside facilitator doesn't necessarily have the personal attachment that people within the organization do, and they can provide some tools and techniques that people may not be aware of as well. Remember, their job is to help the group proceed. Their job is to help that group achieve its goals. Now, some things you need to be aware of. It's not necessarily an easy process. You need to be patient because it takes time and determination. It's not a quick fix. And there is not a cookie-cutter approach to this. What may work in one organization doesn't necessarily work in another organization, simply because each organization has its own mission and it also has its own employees. You need to be consistent. Make sure this happens all the time, not a stop and start. We all are familiar with the flavor of the month type programs that don't necessarily take off, or if they do the next time, then there is a lack of trust there to see a process through. We don't want that to happen with this. We need to be committed to it. No finger pointing. What happens sometimes is when something goes wrong, the first thing we hear about is it's their fault. And that means no matter who there is, it's just the other side's fault, or it's the other person's fault, or whatever it might be. But what you need to do is to try to overcome the problems that may have occurred, work to move on, and maybe you even need to say I'm sorry at times, just to get the process moving. There must be mutual respect and empathy, and need to treat each other as equals. And again, this whole idea of being honest and sharing information is just really important as far as building the trust and the commitment to the process. It's really important for groups to have valuable information so that they can make strong decisions about whatever it is that they're working on. We want to talk a little bit about having an outside professional come to help you with your process. It sometimes can make it easier for people. simply because you have your everyday jobs to do. Professionals also have some abilities as far as their tools and techniques. They've worked with other organizations that they can bring those experiences in. Things that might have worked at some place or might not have worked at some place, they can also relay those to everybody in your organization. It's also difficult for people in an organization to do their own process simply because they have, again, that personal attachment to that particular issue you're working on. The outside professional can also keep the process moving. They help to build trust. They can build a more cohesive team. And again, they do have tools and techniques. That's why they are there. That's why they can help you. And because of that, they can make this whole process a little bit more cost efficient if they're there from the beginning to help you through your process. That's the end of our program. If you'd like more information, or if you have any questions, or if you want assistance with your employee engagement process, you can contact us through our website, calmc.org. Thank you very much.